A video.
Okay, so welcome to week 3. Our audience is starting to dwindle. So first thing I want to do is say congratulations to everybody who actually got the link this week, because even after all the motivation last week from Jason Harwood, we still had some people that didn't fill out the homework, which is difficult for me to swallow because I thought it was pretty amazing. But I think that it's even more amazing that you're here, that you made the commitment to come back. So I just want to put that out there quick. Okay, so I'm going to get on with, can you see my homework? Or can you just see me?
Just you.
Awesome. Okay, so I don't want you to see my cheat notes here. So the first thing I want to talk about is when we gave you guys the prerequisite questions, the first thing that we asked you was, what did you want to do for your business in the month of May? And of course you're thinking, okay, so they want us off to a good start, but really there was a lot more to it than that. So we were asking you, what do you want to do for your business in the month of May? Why is it important? If you accomplish it, what is it going to mean for you? How are you going to feel? Who are you going to tell? What would you think? What would they think if you actually accomplished it? And so these were all questions to get you thinking about your why. And so hopefully by now, after the last couple of weeks, you will be thinking to yourself, okay, I know what my why is. I know exactly why I'm doing this. I've dug deep. It's not just about the money. It's actually for a whole bunch of reasons. And now you know what sets your soul on fire. And those are the reasons that you are still here doing this video. We want, how do I start this? Once you know what your why is, and you know what is going to get you moving, you need to come up with some kind of a roadmap. And this is what this week's training is about. It's about figuring out how to get from A to B, because sometimes there's a lot of steps in between A and B. So figuring out how to execute this is going to be one of the biggest stumbling blocks that people have when they're trying to go through these trainings. A lot of people get discouraged. A lot of people think that they can't do it, and they start comparing themselves to other people, and that's where a lot of people find themselves getting into trouble. And that's what we don't want. We want to give you all the tools that you need to get from A to B to C, and to be able to view that and what it looks like. So what's that look like? Sorry guys, I'm having some technical difficulties here and I'm trying to work through them on live and it's not working for me. So give me a second here. Okay, so when we start thinking about how we get from A to B, we're talking about our goals and we're talking about our roadmap. So our goals are something that my team will tell you they hear me beat them about all the time, because if you don't have goals, then you won't know how to get from A to B to C. You need to have a way to figure out what that plan is going to look like. You need to come up with a plan if you don't already have one. So we set goals for a bunch of reasons. We set them to develop our initial motivation. We set them to help you stay motivated. We set them to help us to focus on improvement and activity. And what I mean is not busy work. So if you're really focused on your goals, then you are able to turn off Facebook and you're able to turn off your phone when you need to. We set goals so that we can create mile markers for ourselves. So if you know that you want to be, if you're a lead consultant now and you want to be a superstar consultant in the fall, then what do you need to do? You need to figure out, okay, well, how do I get from lead to star? You're not going to go from lead to superstar consultant. You're going to figure out, okay, how do I get from lead to star and then to superstar? So what do? We break it down. And what we use is something called a SMART goal. This is something, I was in training and development at a metal company, actually. And they make all the metal for Ford. out in Hamilton, Ontario. And I was in the training and development, and there they use this SMART goal thing. And at the time I didn't realize how important it was going to be later on, but now I get it. So when we talk about SMART goals, we're talking about SMART meaning it is, sorry, I've got kids screaming in the background. SMART meaning it's just so many distractions tonight. It's so crazy. Oh my goodness. Okay, SMART meaning specific. What exactly do you want to achieve? Measurable. How are you going to measure that you got from A to B? Attainable. Is it something that you actually have control over? That's a big piece. Is it relevant? Why is this applicable to your life? Timing. When do you have to get it achieved by, or when do you want to get it achieved by? And because that could be two different things, right? Depending on if you're on a timeline for a specific thing, like if we're in an incentive, or if you're trying to hit director in a certain time, or it really depends on where you are. So what we want to do is create a roadmap. Now, this roadmap doesn't have to be rigid. It doesn't have to be very stringent. It can be something that you use as a stepping stone. So you might go 2 ways this way, and then you might go 1 way sideways. Then you might go 2 ways this way, and then you might go one way sideways until you get to your middle point. And I'm talking a little bit in riddles, but it'll make sense in a minute. Somebody needs to mute themselves because I can hear someone's speaker really loud. Okay. I hear kids. Okay. So what we're going to do is kind of give you an example, because I think that an example is probably the easiest way for you to figure out what this is going to look like. So what I always tell my girls to do is to work backwards. So if you're a lead consultant now and you want to be a superstar consultant in the fall, we're just going to use as an example because a lot of you are already in that place, or you're a director and you have people that are in that spot that are working their way towards there. So you're a lead now, you want to be a superstar consultant by the fall, you're going to be a star consultant by the summer. What does that look like for you? You have to come up with a mental picture or write it down. Some people actually, they're visual, right? They want to see it on a piece of paper. So I found this handy dandy picture. And so right now, if you are a lead consultant, then you probably have this one person right here, and you might have 1, 2, 3 people. You probably don't have all these green ones on the bottom. That's probably what your team looks like right now. This is what you want your team to look like. So when you have all of these pieces in place, then you've got what's called GWV. You guys are all familiar with what GWV and what it means to the compensation plan. And if you're not that comfortable with the compensation plan, you will be by the time Meredith is done with you. So that's not tonight. That's another night. This is a bit of a heavy night, and so is the compensation plan night, but these are some of the nights that we talked about in the beginning that are not so fun, but super, super important. And that's why I'm kind of fumbling a little bit, because I want to make sure that I actually give you this information the way I need to make sure that you receive it, or somebody's going to chop my head off. Okay, so what do you need? Open the compensation plan and do the math. If you want to be a superstar consultant, you need what? 6,000 GWV. And 500 PRV in a month. So the first thing you need to figure out is, I need to make 500 PRV in a month. How am I going to do that? And I need to make a commitment to do that. A personal commitment that no matter what, even if my downline doesn't have anything in this month, I'm putting in 500 PRV. That's it. That's all. It's going to happen. And I'm going to front load. I'm going to put it in on the first 2 weeks of the month. So I've got the last 2 weeks of the month to work on my team. And it also gives me a bit of leeway depending on what's happening the rest of the month, or if you're traveling because you've earned an incentive trip or whatever. Always look at front loading the beginning of your month so you've got some wiggle room for you and for your team to know what's going on. Teach them to do the same thing. Then you've got 2 weeks to work with after your first 2 weeks are taken care of. Get your 500 PRV in. GWV. So then you want to look at recruiting those 3 people. So hopefully, if you're looking at this video, you have these 3 people already. So now you got to figure out, how do I get 500 PRV and how do I get more recruits so that they can recruit and they can recruit and they can recruit? Well, you need to go back to the homework that we did in week 1. So you completed in week 1, or you should have completed 3 of the following: a power hour within 7 days, 1 party within 7 days, you made 3 contacts a day for 7 days, you sponsored 1 new team member within 7 days, you made 15 customer care calls in 7 days. I'm sure you guys all remember doing that because you suffered through it with all of us. We all did it. You guys remember doing those things. Those specific tasks are known as vital behaviors. And those are the things that you're going to do day in and day out, depending on what you feel more comfortable with. You're going to pick a couple. Those are the things you're going to focus on. Those are the vital behaviors that are going to get you your parties. They're going to get you your 500 PRV, and they're going to get you those recruits that you need. Now, other things that you need to be working on to build your business. You're making samples. You're ordering supplies. You're working with your team. These are all things that you're doing on a regular basis. As you get further up in rank, those things will take different types of precedence, and you'll have to track and record them in a different way. But for now, for these purposes, we're going to keep things fairly straight and fairly simple. One thing I want everybody to remember when we're going through this training is we all have the same 24 hours in the day. No one expects you to be Superwoman. No, someone's got a dog. No one expects you to be Superwoman. No one expects you to get everything in the whole world done. If you have children, you're expected to take care of your kids. You're expected to eat. You're expected to do all of the things just like everyone else does. So don't think, I have too much on my plate. I can't get it done. I can't do it. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes bad things happen in our lives, but that's okay, as long as you come back to where you're supposed to be. So where does that leave us? If you only have 24 hours in the day, you have a full-time job, you got kids, you got soccer, you got baseball, you got doctor's appointments, school appointments, you have a life, right? Or maybe you don't have some of those things. Maybe you're working your business a different way. Maybe you're doing other things. Maybe you're traveling. I don't know. But whatever you're doing, you have 24 hours in a day, just like everyone else. So you need to figure out how you're going to fit those things into your day. Now, if you only have 1 hour in a day to work your business, okay, this mute thing's driving me crazy. I can hear somebody. I can hear somebody. Okay, that's better. Thank you, whoever you are. Okay, if you only have 1 hour in a day, you need to figure out how to work smarter, not harder. And I'm not talking about spending an hour a day on Facebook. I'm talking about spending that hour doing those vital behaviors. So if you only have an hour 3 times a week, then you've got 3 hours that you got to make the most of. Then you got to start figuring out how to use those hours effectively and not be wasting them on things that aren't going to make sense. So if you're one of those people that sits down and watches Netflix, like my husband can sit down and watch Prison Break for like 6 hours straight. Like for real, if I leave him there, he'll do it. Right? Some people, The Walking Dead, oh my God, there's a Walking Dead marathon. God help us all. We're not moving from the couch. You know what? If you're going to continue to use your time that way, then you're not going to have time to work your business. So when you're working your way through what I'm about to talk to you about, you need to keep these things in the back of your head. Where do I spend my time? My quality time is with my kids, but my other time needs to be used effectively. So how do you not waste your time? How do you hold yourself accountable to those things that are going to get you to all of this, right? So we're looking at those vital behaviors. How do I make time for those vital behaviors? How do I figure out how to keep that straight in my life? So here it comes. My girls are all probably laughing already. They see this coming a mile away. See this? This is my calendar. When I first started with a calendar, everybody told me, get a calendar. You need a calendar. You need to prioritize. You need to pencil everything in. Pencil in your cleaning, your vacuuming, pencil in everything. So I went out and I bought myself a calendar, and I was all excited, and I spent like $120 on this Erin Codroy, whatever it was, and I didn't even write my name in it. So then 6 months went by and I didn't feel like I was organized, and I went out and I bought another calendar. Somebody fired me up. I bought another calendar. Started to use it a little bit once in a while. I bailed, scrapped it. Didn't work. Went out and bought another calendar. So this is every 6 to 8 months of my business. So this is basically how my business is evolving, for lack of a better way to put it. So as my business is evolving, so I'm going from superstar consultant to director to star director, and working my way through my business. And every step of the way, I realized I need to change things. Like, this isn't what worked for me before, isn't working anymore. I need to get organized. And I always felt like I couldn't get that organization together. And so finally, I made a decision on January 1st this year to tie myself to a calendar. I went out, I got myself a good calendar, and I stuck with it. And I'm telling you, it's the most important thing you will ever do for your business. That and follow up. There's two different things. I hear a man speaking. Okay. Right. Yeah. Exactly, Wanda. Okay. So let's talk about the calendar for a minute. The first thing you're going to do when you go out and get a calendar, if you get a calendar, you don't have to get a fancy calendar. This is just what I have to do to keep my life straight, because I've now made a conscious commitment to my calendar. You don't have to do that. You can go out, you can print one off of the internet. You can go get one at the Dollarama or at the Dollar Tree, depending on where you're watching this video from.
I can watch it.
As long as you go into your calendar, open it up in a quiet time, not when there's kids around, not when you're stressed out, not when you're going crazy. This needs to be done consciously in a quiet setting. So you sit down with your calendar, you color code it if you have to. Like, if I see orange in my calendar, I know it's a meeting. If I see pink, I know it's got to do with my kids. Everything else is in blue and purple. It depends on what it is. That is a system that I came up with after a lot of time of highlighting and missing things, because every time something would come up on my electronic calendar on my phone, I'd hit swipe and then it didn't get done. But this way I can follow it over and it doesn't get missed. So what do you need to remember for your calendar? The first thing you do is you book things you absolutely cannot get out of. So you're looking at all of your family commitments. Then you're looking at doctor's appointments, kids' appointments, anything to do with the school, anything that you absolutely cannot move, you have no control over, you've got to be there, got to do it. What is left? How much time is left in the day? So now you've gone in, you've blocked off all the areas that you have time that you have allotted for everyone else. Now you take a time and you book it for yourself. You book a me day, or you book a few me hours here, a few me hours there, and those are just for you, and those are non-negotiable. Like, that is your time for you. Now, what's left in the calendar? Take a highlighter, go highlight everything that's open, because that's your free time. If it's your lunch hour and you're marking your lunch hour as a free hour, you're not really going to get an hour. You need to be realistic with your time. Pick 15 minutes and run with it. I have 15 minutes. What can I do in that 15 minutes? I can make one customer care call 15 minutes every day. I can make posts on my group 15 minutes a day. I can contact customers looking for parties 15 minutes a day. But you need to know that in that 15 minutes, you're going to hold still to what you said you were going to do. That's the hard part. Every time you do it, go into your calendar, check it off. I did it. Check it off. It's just something about that little check mark. You know you did it. And you know what? It feels good when you did it. Because when you look over on the calendar and you see you didn't do it, it kind of plays on you a little bit. It's like that Fitbit. It gives you that little buzz on your wrist. You know, it gives you that little ding. Without that in front of you, you will not do it. Unless you've got some little guy that sits on back of you and reminds you, ding, 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 time to go book a party, ding, 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 ding. Unless you're a director that's driving you crazy, that's possible too. We've got some of those. My calendar in particular, I have a weekly calendar. And I like it because it shows the hours of the day, and I can actually block out the hour. So if I know I've even got a quarterly call written in there, Tuesday, December 19th. I know what's happening. If I'm going away, I'm going to book off the whole week. I know what's happening. but at least I know it's coming, and I can see it coming from a week away, and there's no surprises, and I'm not scrounging, running around trying to find a way or a place to make samples or get my recruiting packages done, because it's all done. Once a month, I'm scheduling a time and a day to do my recruiting packages, a time and a day to get the samples done, a time and a day, get them done, get them out the door, have them ready to go so you can be intentional with your business. So you can't be intentional with your business if you're not prepared. You can't be prepared if you're not organized. You got to get organized. You got to use your calendar. I think I just beat that dead. Okay. Another little trick too about the calendar, if you can find somebody that will book parties in the dates that you have available, those specific blocks, you can tell, like if you have a VIP group, you can go on your VIP group and tell them, you know what, you get an extra bonus if you book on these specific days. And people love that. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of things that we're going to do for homework this week, and they're a little bit different than what we had before, because I kind of feel like the last few weeks has been a lot. Like we've really been pushing you a lot. So this week you're still going to do a lot, but at least this week it's going to be fun. And that's what I like. I like to have a little bit of variety, but I also like to do fun things that are going to be eye-opening. Hello?
Hey, Robin, we missed what the homework is because you froze on the homework.
Okay, that's okay, because I'm not really into it yet. I'm just telling them that it's fun. So how are you now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you and see you now.
Brilliant. Okay, so the homework this week is going to be a few different steps. We're going to get you to do some things that are going to help to be eye-opening to you, to help you to discover where you need to plan and where you need to focus a little bit more. So what we're talking about is, the first one we're going to start with is, right, no, I changed that. Okay, sorry. What are you doing now? Where are you spending the most time? So we want to know, where are you spending all of your time right now? Your time is so, so precious. And if you are spending 80% of your time on your team and 20% on your time on your income generating tasks, then something's wrong. You need to be the other way around. It needs to be 80% of your time on your income generating vital behaviors and 20% of time on your team. We always need to be a consultant before we are a leader. Always, always, always. So we're going to give you a little test that you can go through and figure out where you're spending your time. The second one, how effective is your leadership? How are you leading? In what way do you lead that is actually getting across to the people in your downline? Because if anybody can be a leader, anybody can be called a leader, anybody can hold a title, but it takes a person that's going to get up every single morning and help motivate people. It helps. You have to lead the way. You have to know what's that saying? Know the way, go the way, and show the way. Your downline will do what you do. They will repeat what you do. So if you don't walk the walk, then they're not going to follow you. So what you need to do is figure out, what am I doing? Where am I spending the most time? Because whatever you're doing, that's what your downline's going to do. This is a game of patience. This whole thing that we do here, being a director, being a star director, being a superstar director, it's a game of patience and perseverance. This is not always easy. This is going to be there's going to be days when you get up and you look at your calendar and you go, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to get through today. And then you're going to slap yourself and you're going to get up and you're going to do it anyway. Because just like any other business owner, you need to put the key in the lock and open the door every single day, or someone else is going to come along and take your business. That's what's going to happen. So I know we're getting real serious here. Other parts of your homework. This is where it gets to be a little bit more fun. We're going to do the 5 love languages. So if any of you are familiar with the 5 love languages, I know a lot of my downline are familiar with it. The 5 love languages is super, super important because it's going to help you with your downline to get laser focused. So when they have stumbling blocks, you know what they need to help pick them up. Some people need a phone call. Some people need a one-on-one video. Some people just need a shout out. Some people want you to post on their timeline. Some people want a big hug. Some people just want to go for a coffee. It really depends on your personality style and their personality style. But if they're having problems and you're trying to figure out how am I going to motivate my downline, they're going to need help. And you need to meet them where they are. And you also need to work smarter instead of harder. So instead of spinning your wheels over and over and over again, let's take some time, figure out about our downline. And yeah, this one is going to be hard. It's not going to be always easy. And you know what's best about this though? There's another test. I know I'm giving you guys a whole bunch of tests this week. That it's fun, it's work, but it's fun. And it's going to help you to really sit back and evaluate your business and figure out, where am I right now? Where are my downline right now? How much do I know about my downline? Where do I need to go? How am I going to get there? So I'm telling you a whole bunch of things, and then we're going to give you a whole bunch of tests that are all going to lead you down that path. Does that make sense? Okay. So the last one that we're going to give you is a personality-based type test. And this is something that I've actually done it. They say that if you do this test 4 or 5 times through your life, you'll always come out with the same answer, which I thought was kind of freaky when I first did it. And then through the rest of my career in government, before I came into Sensi, I actually did this test. It's called the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator Test. And the actual full test it takes you like 3.5 hours to complete. But luckily there is like a short version online, and it's like 60 questions. And it tells you all about you and all about yourself and all about your personality style. And then you can go in and you can see in there, based on your personality type in the self-development, it'll tell you exactly what you need and exactly what your downline needs. So if you get them to do the test and then give you the answer, then you can go in and see exactly what else you can do to help them by reaching them where they are. Make sense? Okay. So we whizzed through that pretty quick. What's going on in the chat? Do we have any questions? No. Okay. Meredith, Shannon, Eva, Barbara. Did I get through that too fast?
No, I don't think so. I think it was good.
I'm talking fast. I know, but I also appreciate that there's a lot of information in here to cover, and it's really easy to misinterpret if we're not thinking in the right mindset. And I think that people can get really confused, especially when they hear calendar. They're like, a calendar? Why do I need a calendar? And they don't realize the importance of really staying organized. And honestly, until I was a star director, like deep into being a star director, I didn't really, I wasn't staying accountable. I just simply wasn't staying accountable. I wasn't staying organized. Mandy heard me talk about this when we were even at boot camp. Like you just need to stay accountable to yourself. And sometimes you don't have that accountability buddy, and you don't have that person to pick you up when you're stumbling. You don't have that person to say, let's go, come on, let's go. But if you have your goals written down, they can really help you get from that one person to all of these people. And that's what we're after, is that piece right there. And as soon as you have that piece, then up you go. So if you're a lead consultant and you're trying to get to superstar consultant, now you know how you're going to get there. You're going to walk through the little behaviors that we gave you in the beginning, work through them, figure out how they fit in your calendar, and away we go. Anybody have anything to add? I know, this is a heavy topic. There's no flow to this topic whatsoever. It's like, do I really have to follow Mandy and Jason? Like, really?
Hey, I'm wearing my tiara.
Like, no, oh my God, it's such a serious topic.
I think that's perfect, because I can see a difference in my months. If I start my month with my calendar, my goals set out, and I have them written down where I can see them, whether it's, on the week pages or the month or whatever, there's a huge difference in months where I just kind of coast and do my own thing. So that's, you gotta find, if you're gonna do your calendar, you gotta have whichever one works for you, you know, because there's so many, like it's right off the internet, you know. I have my month calendar that stays on the fridge for the whole family to see, but then I also have that stuff written in my book too. So
I'm just looking at some of the comments in the chat. It says, this one's going to be hard for me to look at. I'm at my lowest consistent PRV and GWV numbers, and I know it's all me. So first of all, I don't know your name. I don't know the...
That's Tracy Beam.
That's
I'll call her out, but it is her. It is all her, and I will not let you tell her it's not her.
Okay.
Nope.
So
Tree Farm right there. She knows it's all her.
Okay, hang on a second. Let's go back to that. So.
Yep, own it.
Okay, well, that's it. So Tracy, first of all, numbers are down across the board all over the place. It's not just you. There are people being very successful depending on where they are. But yes, it can, what you're doing can absolutely have an impact on how bad that little dip is, right? And I would, my advice, and I would say this to any of my girls too, would be to go back to that homework that we had last week from Jason, and even the homework from the week before. If you did it, do it again. Do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again. Forget your downline. They will survive. They will survive. They will be there. But you need to get your business back on track, because if your business is not on track, your downline's not going to follow. And you know what? If they're all dead weight, then maybe you got to let them go and go find some new blood. And that's hard pill to swallow. It's the hardest, I know, man. You know what? It's like the hardest lesson to learn in this business is knowing when to walk away and start over. And one of the biggest things that I learned in my business is January 1st every year, I'm a brand new consultant. Every single year, January 1st, I say, you know what? I got a new calendar. I got a new year. Boy, I'm hitting the ground running, and I'm going to be brand new all over, new team every single year. I'm hitting director every year, over and over and over and over again. That's my plan every year, is to find a director. Every year. 2 directors, 3 directors, 4 directors. That's what I'm looking for every single year. It's not about always taking care of that team that's been building up and they make my GWV, and that's fantastic. But at the end of the day, my job is to build directors, and I can't build directors if I'm not being a consultant. And that's the number one thing that you need to learn always, is to be a consultant first. Your PRV, number 1, recruiting, number 2. Your team is the far distance. Like, you're there to take care of them, but we are independent consultants. We are not babysitters. We are not police. It's not our job. We need to stay focused. And this is so super important. I'm so glad you brought it up, because you are not the only person that's in this position right now. There are a lot of people on this very call that really resonate with what you said there. A lot of people. So don't feel down on yourself. Just give yourself a good kick and say, okay, it's time to move now. I've been down long enough. Now it's time to move.
It's all about getting out of your own way. Get out of your own head. Get back in the game.
Yep.
You guys know what to do. You've already been successful consultants.
Yep.
You know what to do when you are at these lows in your own personal life, or something else is going on in your head. You just need to say, hey, no, I'm going to get out of my own way. I'm going to take ownership of my business again. And if you have to fake it until you make it again, fake it till you make it again.
That's it,
but
baby.
Fake those steps every single hour of every single day. Nobody knows you're faking it, but you got to fake it, because then you can actually make it again.
Yeah, you know what? Somebody once said to me, never let them see the whites of your eyes. And that's exactly what they meant. Nobody knows that you don't have it all together right now. Your downline doesn't know that you aren't 100% together right now. They don't need to know. What they need to know is that their leader is working. That's what they need to know. That their leader is persevering through hard times, through paying bills, through going to work, through trying to recruit, through going to do vendor shows. That's what they need to know. And yes, Brandy, Ashley, yes, absolutely. Give those tests to your downline. Oh my goodness, that's the best thing you can do is give these tests, give them out. Like once you do them and go through them and do your homework, give them out to your downline. Find out as much as you can about your downline, because the more you know, knowledge is power in any way, shape, or form. You need to figure out what's best for your business, but don't let it distract you either, right? Use it when you need it and then let it go. Don't let it give you tunnel vision where you're so focused on helping everybody else succeed that you're not getting ahead either. And we all fall into that trap. All of us, superstar directors included. Everybody falls into that trap at one time or another. And then we reel ourselves back in. Okay, it's time to book some parties. Okay, it's time to do some vendor shows. Reel ourselves back in. Let's do it again. We all do it. Like, don't think that once you hit superstar director or star director, or even director for that matter, that everything's all peachy and rosy. You're just into a different club. That's all it is. We're still consultants. We still need to work just like you. Unless, of course, you're someone like Becca Levi. First consultant ever with like 800,000 people. No, I'm just kidding. But
Becca still books parties, though.
Yeah, well, and this is it, right? Like, but these people still have to put in their 500 PRV. They still need to have TWV. They promote out directors, but they still need to have that business. They still need to have a team underneath them that generates 10,000 GWV every single month. It has to be there. Okay, what else is? There's messages coming up really fast here. Hang on a second. Sorry, go ahead, Eva. Did you have something?
I fell into that trap of, like, when I hit superstar director in November, it was like, wow, I felt this huge responsibility on me. It was all about my group and connecting with everybody and my directors, and I felt like I lost my way for a little with booking parties. I was not having trouble with my 500 a month, but it was all like outside orders here and there. And I had to buckle down and got that calendar out. And I was like, okay, this is when I don't have Hunter. Highlighted my days. This is when I'm going to have to book parties, and I don't stop until my parties are booked. And, you know, I'm going to be away in June with Punta Cana. It's like, okay, I can't do anything this week. I have to book these days. And now I'm like booked June, July, August. You know, you've got to book ahead and get that done. If you don't, you lose your momentum. And from the parties come the hostesses and possible recruits, and it just keeps it going. But you stop doing those parties, you just slowly shut you down. Can't do that.
Okay, who is that? Was it Tracy Beam, did you say?
Yep, Tracy Beam.
She says, TV is my downfall and drug of choice right now. Yeah, you know what? We all have that problem.
Turn it off.
Turn it off.
I'm going to call you and yell at you all the time.
Poor Tracy, that's a sin. Ashley's saying she's finding it hard to find new party hosts. Okay, who's got tips on party hosts? Like, let's give these guys we've got a few more minutes. Let's give these guys a little bit extra tonight.
You just keep asking until they tell you yes. You keep asking new people. I mean, I'm serious. You just keep asking new people. You keep going. Some people get so distracted by a no that they're like, oh, everybody else is going to tell me no too. No, not everybody's going to tell you no. Somebody will tell you yes eventually. Mm-hmm. You just keep going. And you ask them a question is, when is a good time for you to book a party? You don't ask them to book a party. You say, when is a good time for you to book a party? Let me get my calendar out. Which one matches your dates? You don't give them a choice to tell you no.
Yeah. Yeah. Eva, how'd you book parties for the last 3 months, for the next 3 months? How did you do that? What'd you do?
I did, well, the one way I got it was I actually had done a home party. And at the home party, can you hear me?
Yeah.
And at the home party, I did the scent circle game where, am I breaking up?
A little bit. There we go. I gotcha. I can hear you.
Robin looks like she's in slow motion.
This bloody thing tonight, I swear.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Can you
you.
hear me?
Eva, you're good. You're good. Eva,
Can
we
you hear
can
me?
hear you.
Okay. So 3 of the parties I got booked from doing a home party, and I had the host. It was actually my nephew, my aunt's son. He's in his 20s. He had the scent circles around his neck, and I just told everybody, you know, whoever books a party gets to pick one of the scent circles, and if all 3 scent circles are taken and parties are booked, he gets a
Yeah, okay, I lost Eva.
$30 warmer for me when they're part. Hey, 3 parties booked next month. I have 2. I'm looking for another friend that's willing to book party and get some free stuff by helping me out. And they're like, sure. It's just some people say they can't right now, or maybe next month. But you just keep asking. They just can't listen to somebody says yes. And I've had people tell me no for 6 months, then all of a sudden they say yes, because what may not be good today may be good next month. And they usually will tell you why. Well, it's not good for me right now because, you know, I have this going on, or it's baseball season or whatnot. But I'm trying to get out of the whole concept of saying it's a party.
Yep.
It's more of a gathering, a get together. Let's get together with some friends. Just gather a couple of your friends for some coffee. You know, we'll get together at Starbucks with some testers, things like that. When they hear party, they think I have to clean my house, I have to make all this food. You know, one of my friends just did an outside order party, you know, catalog party. She's a teacher, she's very busy, but we collected outside orders, online orders, and it was a $650 party.
Yep.
Because we made it work. She wasn't going to have time in her schedule to do it at her house. So, hey, she just collects orders. But I just ask. I ask until I get my days filled.
Yep. Yep. And you know what? It is a game of numbers, right?
Right.
It's a game of numbers. Like the more people you ask, the more people are going to say yes. If you, there was one girl, I keep going back to this, and I think my team is kind of tired of listening to me say it, but her name is Hillary Provost. And if I'm not mistaken, I think she might even be on this call. When she first joined, she took off like a shot. And we couldn't figure out, like, what is this girl doing? Like, this is absolutely insane. This girl's booking party. So I got her on, and I got her on a video, and I said, what did you do? She said, I messaged 352 people. And I said, you did what? She's like, for my launch party, I messaged 352 people and asked every single one of them to do a party. And it just went from there. I booked a party from a party from a party. But the fact that she took the time to message, contact, email, whatever, personally, not broadcast, like personally talked to 352 people, that's what did it. And even, like, we've got some party girls on our team. One of them's on tonight. Her name is Wanda. And she'll tell you the same thing. It's a game of numbers. You got to talk to people, like lots of people. Okay. Anything else? I'm just going through. Yeah, Wanda is fantastic. Okay. Are there any other questions? Anybody else? Anybody else want to add anything? Barbara, Trista, Shannon. I don't know how Shannon's feeling. I don't know if she's better yet this week.
I'm doing better.
Yeah, good. I'm glad. Anything to add, Shannon?
I just, I look at the season like, you know, I have 4 kids and I like to stay home with them in the summer and in the spring. And so I know that I'm going to book out 10 basket parties a month because I know that my basket party is going to be anywhere between $250 and $500. And I know what I want to make in order to get my income. So I always send messages like, have you smelled the new scents? Whenever I close a party, I already get another date for when they can do another party. So my hostesses host twice a year. They host the beginning of the catalog, the first, you know, the spring catalog, and then they do it again in the fall. So if they're mid-spring, mid-fall. If they're in spring, they do in fall, unless they want it, you know, earlier. But I always know where my baskets are going to go way ahead of time. And then the other people, I'll just be like, hey, you know, have you smelled the new scents? When's a good time for me to drop them off? No, I don't say when's a good time. I'll say, is Monday or Wednesday better? I won't give them a chance to say no. And then I just turn it into a basket party. But that's something that's worked for me, and it's great because it turns into a basket party. I drop it off. Where do you work? No, when's a good time? 2 or 12 or whatever. And it works for me. So
Yeah.
that's what I do. And in the fall, I do a lot of home parties. But I know how I want my business to work because that's why we do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that we can stay home or whatever it is that we do. And so I make it work around my life.
Yep. That's the way it's done. There was there was a Allison Dalkey, Jacqueline Roy. There was a bunch of Superstar directors that got together a couple of weeks ago and did spring simulcast. And on that spring simulcast, there was a video that got posted, and it was this. I don't even know. Most people didn't even know it got posted. Like, it just got posted. It wasn't uploaded. It wasn't live. It was just a link, like a YouTube video link. I think she was having difficulty that day. Anyway, her name is Jeree Spry. And she posted a link that day about how she had been stuck in the house, and she couldn't leave the house because of her child was sick, and very sad story. But she had to figure out how to work her business, and she didn't really have a choice. And what she did was she sent out cards to every single one of her customers with a game in it and explained the whole game. And basically that generated enough bookings that she was able to book a party from a party from a party. And now she drives all of her business through baskets from home. Just like that. Done.
Yeah, Jerry had a preemie anchor, and she did all of her stuff from the NICU.
Right.
And when he got home out of the NICU, he just turned a year old. When he got home out of the NICU, she still couldn't go anywhere because he was such a preemie. I mean, he was a 24-weeker.
Yeah.
And yeah, she did everything without ever being in contact with people. And she does $2,000 months,
Yep. And that's exactly
so it's totally possible. Yeah.
So, like, there's some really great ideas, I think, anyway. And there's some really great stuff going through the chat here. But we are out of time. I know that tonight was kind of heavy. Again, I kind of feel bad because my group is like, Robin's always, like, the boring person. Robin always delivers, like, the hard-hitting. If you need a kick in your butt, Robin's the one that's going to give it to you. Like, I'm always the one that does. I never do the fun stuff. Anyway, that's okay. We're going to give you some homework that you're going to have fun with. What I want you to do as you're doing your homework, I'm going to get it sent out hopefully tonight. What I really want you to do is, as you're having those aha moments, and you will, as you're going through the homework, you're going to have those moments where you're going, oh my God, I can do that. Oh my God, why am I not doing that? Oh my God, how come I didn't see that before? Why didn't I notice that before? You're going to have all of these moments as you're walking through these tests. You're going to have them about yourself. You're going to have them about your downline. When you do, go on the group and just post it. Because I want to see how many people actually feel as strongly as I do. And I did when I first did these a couple of years ago, when I first started doing it with my downline. And I do it maybe once or twice a year. I do it because we always have new blood coming in. And it's really good for you to share those aha moments, because what one person might see, another person might not. And if we're all kind of sharing those ideas back and forth, I think it's really, this is something that I was talking to one of my directors about today. It's momentum. We all need that momentum. We all need that feed. And especially this time of year when we're going into summer and our numbers aren't so strong and we're not feeling like we can do it. And it's not always easy. And I'm telling you to believe in yourself, but your numbers right this minute, one day before month end, might not necessarily be looking that way. And so we need that momentum to feed off of each other, because believe me, we have power amongst us. We all have power. Every single one of you has power. You just might not feel it right now, but you will. So go through the homework, go through last week's homework, go through the week before that, do the homework over and over and over and over again until something clicks. Go on, post, share what you're finding, share what you're feeling, share everything, because you know what? It'll make you feel better. You will feel better. and you'll find someone else is in the same boat as you. I promise. Okay, that's it for the meeting this week. Thank you very much. Homework is on the way, and I'm so proud of you guys. Thanks, guys, for joining.